Welcome to UNMUZZLED chat. Frick, let's embody that for this episode. Muzzles are off. Guys, I don't own one. I don't use one. I don't wear one, and I never will. If you have one of the masks or you self-censor due to a job or anything, tear that muzzle off. Now, enough is enough. Entirely. Let this episode be enough. We cover enough of the spectrum right here in such a way. I mean, there's so much powerful clips, snips, information, stats, facts to go over right here in this episode. I don't even know if I'm going to fit it all in. So I can't mess around. I just got to dive in. But we must realize something and acknowledge as we look around and see the deterioration, the actual level of decay all around us, and tyranny running rampant, and censorship, and just infringement on all of our rights. It may be hard for some to hear, but we must take some accountability here. In a huge way, it's our fault. Now, none of us, I don't know anyone that was directly out there tearing down the border wall, directly, printing money to send to Ukraine and launder and all these freaking crazy issues. But we got to be honest with ourselves. Our silence, our ignorance, our stupidity even is exactly what has allowed this level of deterioration. I believe personally, the sooner we can acknowledge this, and we're like, you know what? Yeah, up to this point, I haven't been parts of solutions. So in a way, I've been part of the problems. Like, we got to take this deadly serious because it's literally that important. It's that crucial. And if not for you, for your loved ones, for your children. And there's so many things we can do. And we've been screaming it from the rooftops, supporting alternate economies, platforms like this, companies we're onboarding, so many things. And if at any point this is offensive or challenging and doom and gloom and it's too much, then personally we got to up our resilience. We are not in our natural well state. And we must, that's a starting block. We need to acknowledge that and start eradicating the toxins, the poisons, balancing hormones, nutrition. Like, what happened to men's testosterone? Men need to start getting on testosterone. The TRT has helped me. Now I'm on a very minimal amount, just enough to personally help breathe some life into me as I fight my personal battle with Lyme disease. But I'm very hopeful as I clear the poisons out of my body. I balance the nutritional levels and hormonal levels and eradicate this freaking bioweapon from my body. I'd venture to say we're right here out the gate. We're going to come swinging with this bio warfare, talking about Lyme disease and so many other things. I'd venture to say more of you actually have a bioweapon in you than you even realize. We already can see and feel the effects of the enough is enough, and we must up our resilience. We must start taking more action. Okay, that being said, let's dive in. Told you I'm ripping the muzzle off this one. Okay. So this is David and Adam Finnegan. This Adam character is quite impressive. He's actually done a lot of research, and he brings all the freaking receipts. So do not take my word for it. Do not even take his word for it. Look at the research he's gathered conveniently on a singular webpage. We'll browse that here in a second for us to sift through. Biological warfare is nothing new, folks. It's been around for a long time. We've been funding it as taxpayers for a long time. And I'm sad to report that the actual documentation, the actual facts do not look pretty. But we can't afford to be ignorant on it because we, the people, are being experimented on. Enough is enough. No wonder men think they're freaking women. No wonder the other men are allowing these delusional men to prey on their children. No wonder we're sitting back allowing our kids to be indoctrinated and poisoned with everything and putting up with DEI, the most racist, toxic, divisive, up is down, down is like everything's all twisted and we're just accepting it. What is wrong with everyone? I know I'm not alone, but at times with the lack of action, and there is a lot of action, we're going to cover a lot of the positive momentum. But the reality of it is it's not enough. Like even if we end up slowly, like the more of us that engage, the faster we right this ship. We can't afford another day. If we can lessen it one more day by onboarding another 100, 2,000 people, then let's do that. Help us achieve that on this platform, please. I know we're not going to appease to everybody, but the more you help bless this platform and share it, you just never know. And one of you will lead to great blessing and breakthrough on this platform. You may share it to someone that actually has this. You just never know. You might send it to that one person that sends it to that one person that sends it to that one person that's got a very big group on a platform or two, and it really brings more people on board to organize in their toolboxes, to up in their resilience and becoming more parts of the solution together. Check this out. This is insanity. Like, there's nothing intentionally being done. That is the vapors. That is what Scroogle, Screwtube, fake book, all those Nazi, controlled propagandist platforms are going to be pushing those fictional narratives, the true conspiracy that, it's just natural. But no, because there's a grave difference between the two. So the question is not whether we're being sprayed. It is, yes, we are being sprayed. And we've shifted on to what is it we being sprayed with. And it's so damning. So this is a direct connect to why testosterone levels are tanking, why we're allowing women face, why we're allowing all this to happen, because our resilience is being diminished intentionally. We actually have a solution for this particular threat to an extent, this very episode, to bringing that resilience back out of us. Let's hear this real quick.
And we're back for part 2 on one of the biggest secrets that the government is holding from us.
Yes.
If you haven't seen my part 1, go back and find that for a whole summary of what the heck these things are. But moving on from where we left off last time, researchers from geoengineeringwatch.org were able to acquire a NOAA flying lab, which is just a plane that's set up for lab testing of the atmosphere.
Yes.
And what they did is they took this plane up right into one of these guys and took samples from beneath it, inside of it, and above it. And they found exactly what they were expecting. With that test, they were able to confirm that, in fact, they are spraying into our air a whole array of heavy metals, including aluminum, barium, and strontium. So what does this mean for us?
It's so bad.
They don't really care. Exposure to these kind of heavy metals are linked to things as small as cognitive impairments in children, like behavioral issues, sensory issues, ASD, or even ADHD, all the way up to conditions like Alzheimer's and even cancer. One of the most important things that we can do about this is start bringing awareness to it in the hopes that maybe we could begin to ban weather modification, just like other states are doing too. Second most important thing we can do, heavy metal detox. We're breathing these metals in whether we like it or not, and we need to make sure we're protecting ourselves and our family from the side effects. And we're back.
Okay, I'm happy to report, and I've been taking this now for a minute, and I actually had this vetted from a couple of my naturopathic doctors that I trust, and they have since added this to their shelves. But this MasterPeace product is amazing at removing nanotoxins, heavy metal cleanse, all sorts of pollutants, graphene oxide, barium, aluminum, lead, things I can't even pronounce. Check in the description. I'll have the link to this. Get some. It's affordable. It's insane. Like 5 little drops a day. And this clearly has led to some of my breakthrough. And until we bring awareness and stop the spraying from happening, unfortunately, this is something we're going to just have to add into our regimen. So we can't just look for get-bys. We need to be the solution over the bigger issue. Help us achieve that. Surprise, surprise! There's now a study out that the Bill Gates lab-grown meat causes cancer in humans. Are you surprised? I'll add the link. Speaking of Bill Gates, the UK just announced it wants to force farmers to feed their cows red soybean-based methane blockers to block them from farting and burping. Which, guys, that's a hoax. It's all a hoax. It's just to control everything. Because that other scientist, he was saying, like, to anyone that would argue this, just be like, okay, could you answer me how much of the atmosphere is, how, I'm struggling to word it, is carbon? Like, how much of the atmosphere is accounted? Like, what percentage? Can you give me a percentage? It's 0.04%. And the human, let's say, addition or part of that percentage is 0.03% of the 0.04%. It's a non-issue. But anyway, guess who invested $12 million into a company that produces the red seaweed methane blockers 2 months ago? Oh, Bill Gates. None other than Bill Gates. Are you waking up yet, world? I know our listeners are. It's crazy. Now, if I don't resonate with people, like, the thing is, we've been indoctrinated. We've had false idols through Hollywood. I'll admit it. We all have. We've been duped. It's like we've sinned by, like, false idol, like idolizing these celebrities, and they've been pedestaled, and it's been this whole mind experiment, and it's been very successful on misleading. I mean, you could see with how they ramped up on the celebrity stages for people to roll up their sleeves and get a bioweapon in their arm. It was massively effective. So if you can't take my word for it, then here, listen to Woody Harrelson. I don't know. Apologies, I didn't pronounce it. Celebrity man. But I don't know when he did this, but it's a pretty powerful clip. Give it a listen.
Habit of buying junk fast foods that have no actual food in them. We buy gallons of poisonous household cleaners when one degradable soft soap will do. We are poisoning our homes and wasting our hard-earned money for no good reason. Why? Because the advertising industry tells us to. They just want you to buy stuff. For example, if a company pollutes the environment or uses bad business practices, if you don't buy their stuff, they will change. If you don't want food with chemicals or GMOs in it, then don't buy it. The minute we start taking responsibility and spending our money wisely, every politician, every corporation, and leader around the world is going to know that we have woken up. This is the 21st century. If we use our resources wisely, there's no reason why anyone shouldn't have what they need. There's no reason whatsoever why people are still starving to death on our planet. And the common man or woman, whether they are Israeli or Palestinian, Protestant or Catholic or Iraqi or American, the common man just wants to live in peace and justice in a clean environment. When we look around the world and we see that that is not the case, we know that the will of the majority is not being listened to.
Right.
That's the first sign that our system is broken. Government won't make these changes for us. Yet again, it is down to the common man. No company will continue a practice or a product that you, the consumer, will not buy. It's vitally important that you understand this because this gives you ultimate power to change the world you live in.
Yes.
Companies are extremely sensitive about you buying their products because if you don't buy their stuff, they go out of business.
Right.
It's not something any company is willing to consider. And by choosing to spend your money wisely, you can promote those companies that do business in a socially responsible way.
Golly, can we grasp that? It's one of the singular, most impactful calls to action we can do. Also, check out stewpeters.com and Slave Nation, because we need to stop funding our enemy, aka paying income tax voluntarily. Why are we doing that? Why are you doing that? Why haven't you educated yourself and saved yourself a lot of freaking money? That's a double win right there. This is extremely alarming. Listen to Charlie Kirk talk about these birth rates, folks. It's not just personal, like, resilience and personal impact. Like, this is I need to work on my stuttering. I say a lot of things double. I apologize. Bear with me. I'm going to do my best to get better.
We have now set a new record. We've been warning about this.
Ooh, I got it a little sped up here. So I'm down 125.
Elon Musk has been warning about this. But we have a new low, a record low.
Record.
This, by definition, is civilizational ending.
Yes.
If this does not get addressed or fixed, there is no way to keep a civilization going. What am I talking about here? U.S. fertility rate has dropped to its lowest level ever.
Ever in
It is
America.
now 1.6 children per woman in 2023. It is the lowest figure in American history. America had fewer children born last year than in 1980 when we had 100 million fewer people.
We had less births last year, or pregnant women, than in 1980 when we had 100 million less people that were in this country. That is extremely alarming.
Some of this is related to the destruction of the middle class. It is harder than ever for people to afford to have more kids. And Biden has accelerated that trend. But it didn't start with Biden. America is in a cultural death spiral. People have been sold a life script that emphasizes things that are not about having families. The life script is very simple.
Folks, it's not just that either. It's all the poisons. It's the bioweapon death jab that's literally made a lot of folk infertile or lose their children.
The life script includes extending adolescence and aimless hedonism. Women have been told that they can have it all by not worrying about marriage or family until they're 35 or even 40, or just to have it all by not having a family at all. Our leaders, meanwhile, treat Americans as fungible economic units and think that it's far easier to replace the current generation with foreign migrants. Essentially, let the Nicaraguans have kids than to put in the effort of having and raising their own children. The future belongs to the people who show up for it. An America without children is an America without a future.
Right.
A country needs 2.1 kids per woman to keep itself going. Countries that fall below that will lose people. America is better than most Western countries, but we're still falling. Our population is only growing because of the Great Replacement.
That's the only reason our country's numbers isn't falling, because of Great Replacement, because our country is being invaded. And we are being replaced.
The amount of dateable men is diminishing by the day. NYU Stern college professor who was on MSNBC, who's going to be joining us later this week, said the exact same thing.
Legally, they were supposed to give us informed consent. Well, here we are. Is what it is. It's not something ideally to do, but it must be done. Because the reality of this platform, Unmuzzled Chat, we are not going to conform and fall in line and be cowards to tyrannical platforms. So I'm so sorry to disrupt this episode. This is specifically for the YouTube crowd. An opportunity. We'd like to extend an invitation yet again to Rumble, a free speech platform. Come join us. We don't care your political views. We don't care your origins, all that freaking stats or whatever you want to freaking call it. Come join us. Have the conversations. View this episode and all further content in its entirety. There are bombshell episodes, like probably this one. You need to check this one and others out on Rumble. It's no secret. YouTube now has shown its colors. Freaking Nazi platform trying to control information, withhold information that could save lives. 100%. They don't care about you. They care about their funders and appeasing them. It's sad, but it just is the way it is. And I just sure hope through what I've even dealt with here, and many other patriots and many other people using this platform for truthful information and have been censored. It's just, when is enough? Okay? Let's stand strong now. Come join us. There's amazing content. We're going to get to the bottom of things. We want to find out what in fact is truthful and helpful for our mental states, our physical states, just our well-being in general. And we can't do it on this platform, unfortunately. Now, there's been whispers that maybe Elon will buy the YouTube, buy Facebook, and liberate it, similar to what has taken place on X, formerly known as Twitter. Is it perfect? Is everything perfect? No. But we, the people, can support the ones on our behalf, like just by our views, clicks, likes, and we must stand strong on this. I sure hope you see the level of importance here and that we can unite. Let's create this community. Join us. Come on the podcast. Comment. Let's get things rocking and rolling. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you over there. God bless you.